It's without doubt the purest form of the game and arguably the most fun too, but links golf also throws up its own unique set of circumstances. It is important you know how the rules of golf apply in those different situations. So in this video we've come to the beautiful Ailsa course at Trump Turnberry and I'm joined by our resident rules expert Fergus Bisset. We're going to run through the 6 links golf rules you need to know. If you play a lot of links golf, make sure you watch to the end and definitely watch number 3 because that catches a lot of golfers out. Right, Fergus, on links golf courses we often find these very heavily gorse bush areas, and for my second shot I definitely saw my ball go into this bush.
Right.
You saw it go in, but we've come up here and we just can't find it because it's incredibly dense. It's also very spiky, so I'm not able to get too close to it and get really sort of inside there to find my ball. What are my options here? Because I feel like we all know it went in there. Surely there's something I can do, sort of take an unplayable lie and I can be on my way.
Well, you are a bit limited here. Because you can't find the ball, we don't know where it sits. We don't know the position of your original ball. Your only option in this circumstance is to go back and play another one under penalty of stroke and relief, one-shot penalty. In order to make use of Rule 19.2, to take an unplayable lie, to use the back on the line relief or the 2 club length lateral relief, you have to know the spot of the original ball.
Right.
Now, if you were to estimate, say, well, I think it's about here, and take a 2 club length lateral drop, and then play from that spot, you would be breaching Rule 14.7, you'd be playing from the wrong place. If you finish the hole, I would say you'd been gaining a significant advantage there as well, because you should be playing from quite a long way back. If you did that, finished the hole, teed off on the next hole, you'd be DQ'd.
So you're probably better off in that situation if you see your ball going into a thick gorse but like this, play it provisional from where you last played your ball.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, you can do that if you think your ball's lost anywhere on the course. You can play a provisional ball, and that might be the best approach.
So there you have it. The rules have not come to my aid here. I've hit my ball in the gorse bush, and unfortunately, I can't find it. Got to take stroke and distance for a one-shot penalty. Right, so Fergus, I'm not sure if I'm lucky or unlucky here because I've hit my ball to the right into this gorse bush, and luckily I've found it, but unluckily, as you can see, it's suspended in the air on this gorse bush.
Right.
It's a predicament that not many golfers find themselves in, but in this particular situation, what are my options in terms of the rules of golf?
Okay, option 1 is you could play it.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember Ernie Els doing that in the 2004 Open at Royal Portrush. He famously played one out of a gorse bush. It's a tricky shot. If you didn't fancy that, you can certainly identify your ball. We know it's definitely yours, which means you can take an unplayable. You've got the standard 3 options for an unplayable ball under Rule 19. You can go back and play another from where you played the original shot that ended in the bush. You could take back on the line relief, keeping the original ball in the hole, and go back as far as you want, but I think you're in the gorse bushes there.
That goes exactly,
so that's not good. Or you would be able to take the 2 club length lateral drop, no closer to the hole. Now you don't measure from the ball, you measure from a reference point on the ground, directly beneath where the ball is sitting. 2 club lengths with a driver from there, drop within that area, and that's a one-shot penalty, of course, but those would be your options under Rule 19.2.
That's interesting. Yeah, I think that's an appealing option, but given that, you know, we're doing a video and it's a lot of fun, why don't we have a go? I think I quite fancy this one. Yeah, let's have a go.
Okay, well, let me get
a swipe at it. Yeah. Right, Fergus, for this one we need to use our imaginations a little bit, but typically on a links golf course in the summer, very tightly mown, dry fairways, and obviously you often get a lot of wind in these particular type of courses. So in this situation, I'm about to sort of take my shot and I take the club away and the ball moves because of the wind. The wind blows the ball.
Okay.
What are my options here in terms of my swing and relief from, obviously, probably going to be a misstruck shot in this scenario? What happens?
Well, first thing to say is that Rule 10.1d says that you must not make a strike or a stroke at a moving ball. But Rule 9.1 will come to your aid in this case, because once you've started your stroke, there are a couple of things that might happen. One is that you're as good as Tiger Woods and you're able to stop mid-swing.
Yeah.
Or you may purposefully miss, even if you continue to swing, but purposefully sort of pull out of it in order to say, I'm not making an attempt to hit the ball.
So you sort of see it moving and then you sort of step away.
If you do that, then rule 9.3 will kick in. Ball has been moved by natural forces, and you will simply play the ball from where it now lies.
Okay.
However, if you continue to make the stroke and attempt to hit the ball as it's moving, then whatever happens after that stroke, you will be playing another stroke where even if you miss the ball, that stroke counts, and you're now playing your next stroke at the ball from where it now lies.
Okay, so no penalty shots technically.
No penalty shots, but you would, whatever happened, if you made an attempt to hit the ball, you would be playing your next stroke from where the ball lies.
Yeah, I think that's relatively common if the ball moves just as you're literally about to hit it, which is incredibly unlucky.
Yep.
But you don't get to replace the ball.
I think quite often your instinct is to try and hit it, and once you've tried to hit it, that stroke will count.
Yeah. So if your ball is on a tight lie in the fairway on a links course and it's pretty windy, you need to be careful of the rules here, because if the ball moves and you attempt to play the shot, you've got to play it from where it is, and it could be in an unfavourable position. Right, Fergus, we're on the 9th green here on the Ailsa course at Trump Turnberry, possibly the best backdrop in all of golf, frankly. And I've hit my tee shot onto this green. My ball has come to rest up on the sort of top of the slope there, but then since it came to rest, it's rolled down this hill because of the wind. The wind has caused it to move down this hill closer to the hole, which I'm absolutely delighted about. But do the rules of golf permit me to play my next shot from here, or do I have to go back to where it originally came to rest?
Well, okay, this is an interesting one. This is rule 13.1D part 2. And it very much depends on whether you marked the ball and replaced it or not. Now, if you had got up to the ball where it was originally, and you'd marked it and replaced it, and the wind had then caused it to blow down, you would be required to take the ball back and replace it as near, on the spot that it was on, or an estimated spot if your marker was no longer there. If, however, you hadn't marked it, and the wind had caused it to blow down the hill before you'd got a chance to mark it, then you would in fact now play it from this spot, and you would be incorrect to replace it. If you hadn't marked it and then you replaced it, you would be playing the ball from the wrong place, and that would be a 2-shot general penalty.
Right.
If you had marked it and then the wind had blown it and then you played it from here, it would be a 2-shot general penalty. But I also think that you would be getting a serious advantage from that, playing from the wrong place. And if you didn't correct that mistake before you went and played a shot at the next hole, I think you would probably be disqualified in this instance. Okay,
so potentially quite a penal outcome there, but if your ball does move before you mark it, you can gain advantage of that rule, as long as it moves close to the hole.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you might be unfortunate and it would blow it away, but you would have a disadvantage. But in this case, you would have had an advantage.
There you go. So a lot of things to think about there. If you're playing on a very windy day on a links course with quite fast, slopey greens, it could well happen. Your ball could move because of the wind, and you need to know those rules. Fergus, I feel like I might be in trouble here. Obviously, we saw there, balls hit the bank, come down, hit me in the foot.
Right.
I know it used to be a 2-shot penalty. Can the rules come to my rescue here?
Well, I mean, they sort of have done, you're right. In the old days, that would have been a 2-shot penalty. Ball striking you or your equipment would have been a 2-shot penalty. But since the rules changed in 2019, Rule 11.1A says, if the ball does strike you, in this instance coming off the face of a bunker, there's no penalty and you must play the ball as it now lies. Now, it's not lying very well, but that's it. Yeah, that's where you're going to have to now play it from.
Here's a question for you, Fergus. So what if I was to hit the bunker shot, it hits the lip, pops up, I can see it's kind of come back in the bunker, and I decide, do you know what, I don't fancy playing again from here. I'll just give it a little kick out with my foot, or maybe try and double hit it out with my club. Okay. And the ball goes out and I'm like, get in, I've got out of the bunker. Yeah. Am I going to incur any penalty shots?
You are going to definitely incur a penalty for that. That ball deflected in motion, that's a general 2-shot penalty for doing that, yes.
2-shot penalty for that. Okay, probably not worth the risk on that. So I'm back in this position. I'm sat down in some sort of hole here, which is not ideal. Let's see if I can make a better fist of it this time.
We have, actually.
Yeah, pretty happy with that one.
Yeah.
Right, Fergus, my ball has finished precariously on this sort of quite tight lie here, just off the side of the green. Obviously not a windy day here today, but if it was quite a windy day, there would be a chance of this ball rolling off into this bunker, it could roll off into a penalty area. What are my next steps that I have to take if that happens to me in this particular situation?
Well, 9.3 ball moved by natural forces on the general area of the course. If the wind did gust and blew that ball into the bunker there, you would now be in the bunker and you would play the ball as it lies in the bunker. If you were unfortunate enough that this line was a penalty area, your ball would now be in a penalty area. The only exception would be if you had either dropped, placed or replaced the ball there. Say you were taking relief away from a sprinkler head that was just there perhaps.
Right.
And then it blew into another area of the course, so a bunker or a penalty area. In that instance, you would replace the ball. But in all other circumstances, you would play it as it lies. And if you did replace it, you'd be playing the ball from the wrong place in Rule 14.7, general penalty. In this circumstance, you would definitely be gaining a serious advantage. So if you didn't correct that mistake and then play again from the correct place, you would be disqualified if you played a stroke at the next hole.
And what if the ball moves, if you're taking relief from a sprinkler, say, and the wind blows the ball, but not into a different area of the course, do I still have to put it back?
You don't replace it in that instance. You only replace it if it blows into a different part of the course.
Okay. All right. Well, in this particular situation, luckily, the ball has not moved by the wind.
It's a lovely day and the ball isn't going anywhere.
So I can have a little chip at this, can't I? Lovely tight lies here at Trump Turnberry.
Ooh, nicely
spicy.
Nicely nipped.
So there you have it. If you are playing on a particularly windy day on a links course and the ball does blow into a bunker or a penalty area, unfortunately, you don't get free relief. You've got to play it as it lies. So there you have it. That concludes our look at the 6 links golf rules everyone needs to know. If you play a lot of links golf, hopefully you found this useful and might just save you a shot or two here or there, depending on some of the situations you get into. But that's all from me here at the amazing Trump Turnberry Elsa course. I'll see you next time.